president's message tomorrow night.
Yes. Yeah.
Today we're talking about infrastructure.
Yeah, so this is what I'm now in first.
How long was that time?
It was just 4 weeks.
Okay.
And then Cornerstone came in and
Uh-huh.
offered me an apprenticeship position.
And so you've been in the apprenticeship then for how long?
So 8 months.
Okay. How's that going?
Good, I like it.
What kind of classes are you taking in the apprenticeship? What are you learning?
Just how to lay the line, level my materials,
Yeah?
how much you need.
'Cause those apprenticeship programs are tough. Is it
I
a
go-
4-year program?
3 years.
3 years? Uh-huh.
I go every other Wednesday.
Okay. And you have a mentor and somebody that's kind of teaching you and
Yep.
taking you around?
Yep.
And developing a relationship there, huh? I love our apprenticeship programs. You know, we're announcing today that we're gonna start to open up federal jobs for apprenticeship trained people so that these jobs that historically required a 4-year college degree, opening them up so that we can have as many that are trained through the apprenticeship programs where, you know, those are just as tough.
Right. That's a
And
good deal.
skills are just as high as any kind of 4-year education you can get. So that's part of why I'm here, is to highlight what you guys are going through in terms of what you've learned and what you're teaching at the apprenticeship, to remind people about the high level of skills that are required to do this work. So I'm going to be talking about them. Tell me about you.
So I'm actually a mason tender, or an apprentice mason tender. So my job is to pretty much just make sure they have all they need, like block, mud,
Yeah.
and like anything they need. Make sure it's stocked up. I just started about a month ago, a little over a month ago.
You just started the apprenticeship a month ago.
So I haven't started my classes, but I got through the apprenticeship program because of my fiance. She's also
Oh,
an
nice.
apprentice labor.
So if you were talking with other high school graduates or other people who don't really know about apprenticeship programs and what they can offer, what would you tell them?
But they're great benefits. I mean, you got a lot to learn. I've learned a lot just in the month I've been here. It's great pay.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think you guys would be doing if you weren't in an apprenticeship program right now?
I would probably still be working factory.
I honestly have no idea. This is kind of what I wanted to do ever since I got into high school. Kind of started thinking about jobs. I've been wanting to go into some sort of trade and apprenticeship program.
Yeah. This is great work. Well, you know, I mean, we're creating the jobs in terms of putting the federal dollars into building up infrastructure like this, but we can't do any of it if you guys weren't on the ground, putting in the long hours and learning all of these skills that are, you know, that require that kind of training. This is high level stuff. It's really great, and that's why I wanted to be here, to talk about what you guys are doing as an example of how important this work is. So you guys are making a difference in the lives of people you're never going to meet. But because you're doing so well, you're models about what can be done. So thank you for that.
Is there a shortage with masons for apprentices?
The laborers.
Yeah.
I believe I'm the only one on site.
That's a big
Really?
problem in Madison.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? What's happening?
Well, we're building a lot.
Yeah.
Just overall, we're growing pretty fast.
So the demand is high.
The demand is high.
Yeah.
And you know, we're trying to communicate to folks the value of these jobs,
Yeah.
which these guys clearly understand,
Yeah.
but not everybody does.
Right.
So we're struggling to get people into the pathways that would connect them with an apprenticeship in the trades in particular.
And
but
so these
it's
jobs
just
are
huge
paying about,
demand.
what, $27, $47 an hour, right? I mean, that's part of what we want
Yes.
to remind people.
And what was that factory job that you would be otherwise doing paying?
I would be making 20 an hour.
Uh-huh.
Scrape by.
Yeah.
And was your high school very supportive of you going down this path?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually how I found the pre-job class. I was in a construction class, and we went to a job fair here in Madison. And I saw masonry, like they had
So
a
you
little-
didn't grow up in Madison?
No, I didn't. I live in Cambridge,
Okay.
and that's where I went to high school. And we went to the job fair here in Madison. It was in a metals building, and they had a whole masonry station set up, and they let you try it hands-on and talk to you about it. I'm actually going to the job fair again April 3rd, and I'm going to be like teaching too.
Oh.
again.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, same job fair I
This is
learned
great.
about it at.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, we always talk about this, but we want high school kids to hear that this is a viable, respectful, right? This is a good path, right? You don't have to go down. We always say this, right? All these jobs, as the vice president said, don't require 4-year degrees, and we shouldn't be pushing people just down that path.
Right.
You're a really good example of that. It's really awesome.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
very
you.
good.
Continue on with your job.
Take care, okay? You take care. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Are you excited about your futures?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
We are
for your
too.
work. Nice to meet you.
Support the staff,
Okay.
then I'll make some storage, find curtain.
Okay.
I meant your mic here.
That's Madison College.
Okay. Check.
You missed one. You missed.
I'm trying.
I turned everyone's on, yes.
Yeah, you're getting paid through the whole thing. You're not going into debt over it, which is why I chose to do it too.
I chose to do the apprenticeship because I had my son. So when I had my son, I kind of needed a job that was more stable. And you know, what you get with being an apprentice in the church, you get a career, not just a job. And that's what I wanted. I wanted a career that I could progress and stay in over the long run.
How did you learn about
I learned about the program from, so originally I did a non-union electrical program, and then I learned about the union and kind of the differences, and I felt like the union was better for me and for what I wanted to learn.
So that's a big one.
Yeah.
Talk about the differences.
So one of the big differences for me coming from non-union to union is, in the non-union, you can kind of get pigeonholed into doing one thing, and then when you go union, they have certain rules and things in place where you can't be, you know, told to do only one thing. You have to do multiple things, and they have a guideline of what you have to do. So,
And the more safety minded
yeah.
too. Yeah, I feel like we have better teachers too, because we worked at the same place before together, and I did my first 2 years of the apprenticeship there. I feel like this year is a bit better than the 2 years I did over there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Even? Yeah. He's 19 months. So, shout out David.
You saw you the vice president.
Yeah, shout out David, and shout out to my fiance Shannon.
And Shannon.
Yep.
Two brothers. Well, we came to the mayor, I like what you're doing. But in order for us to do this work, I gotta do because you guys are doing hard work. Right? So your stories are very important. And the reasons that you're doing it, because for this other path, it's really important. So I hear that.
It was nice meeting you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Have a great time.
Yeah.
Madam Secretary.
You have our friends here, don't you?
Yes, exactly. Oh, great. Okay. Terrific. Hi, everybody. It's good to be here with obviously
Here. There we go.
our vice president. She knows well how a good job changes lives. I know that, and obviously the president knows it too. We talk a lot about infrastructure in this administration. That's because the president and the vice president are delivering on historic investments to transform infrastructure, both here in Wisconsin and across the country. When I talk about infrastructure, I think about our workforce system. Workforce is roads and bridges too. It's the roads and bridges that connect people to the good jobs they want and need, and employers to the people they want and need. And that infrastructure has also, needed some work. It's had some potholes. It's got some cracks in it. Some communities can't find an on-ramp without going a long way. And so we need that infrastructure to be as strong as our physical infrastructure. And so we're making lots of investments here in Wisconsin and across the country to make that happen. And knowing that, we also know that apprenticeships are like the super highways of that infrastructure system. So we just got to meet with and talk to some apprentices who are realizing the promise of a good job for themselves and for their families, and we want to make good on that promise in every single community. And nobody knows that the way our vice president does. Now, I have known her for a very long time. She was the Attorney General in California when we met, and she has been a fighter on these issues her whole career. And so she's also somebody who understands that opportunity has to be available in every community. When she says, you know, I'm going to be the first but not the last, she means it, not just about the position that she holds now, but about opportunity in every industry, in every single community, about saying that, you know, we're going to open them up so that everybody sees themselves in the future that we're building, a future in which everybody can have a good job. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our amazing Vice President.
Thank you. Thank you. And to our Labor Secretary, thank you so very much for your work. So it's great to be back in Madison. Mayor, I want to thank you for your leadership, and thanks for greeting me on the tarmac and riding over with me. The work that is happening here really is a wonderful example of so many of our administration's priorities, including the important collaboration between us at the federal level and leaders at the local level, like the mayor of Madison. Because this work that we see behind us is a function of that partnership around how we can get federal dollars out to local governments and local communities in a way that they then invest in the talent of the community. And so it is an example then of partnership. It is also an example of the fact that when we invest in the American people, including the American worker, everyone benefits. So the apprentices that we have been talking with today, they are highly skilled. They're involved in very hardcore education that is about understanding technology, understanding math, understanding what we need to do to integrate technology with traditional work that is about building infrastructure. They are doing these programs around the clock. Apprenticeship programs for labor and union apprenticeship programs also pay their apprentices while they're in the program, which means that people don't have to worry about whether they have to borrow money in order to receive an education that is for the benefit of the community and its productivity. These apprentices are, some of them right out of high school. One young gentleman that I spoke with, he decided to join the apprentice because he had a new baby, a son, and wanted to make sure that he was on a path that was about not only a job, but a career. So I say all that to say that this is another example of also the partnership between our administration and unions around the apprenticeship programs that they create for young people to enter a profession, enter a career that means a very high quality of life for themselves and their families. All of that to say today, one of the announcements that we are making and the President has made in Washington is that we have now issued, and the President has issued, an executive order, an EO, that will direct federal agencies to explore what federal jobs we have that can be filled by the highly skilled folks who have been trained in apprenticeship programs, and not just giving these jobs only to people with a four-year college degree. This is very important because what we have demonstrated with so much of the apprenticeship work that is happening as we invest in America and rebuild America's infrastructure, again, I will repeat, is that they are learning skills that are about engineering and technology. They are learning skills that is about complex math and science. And these are the kinds of skills that we need in a variety of jobs that are not only and are in addition to the work that we're doing to rebuild America's infrastructure. So I am very proud to be here with these leaders and with these incredible, skilled, highly skilled people who are part of a profession that is about building up our communities. And Mayor, I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about what's happening at this facility, but I want to applaud your work because she has made it as part of her agenda of leadership to invest in public transit. And the work she's doing here in Madison is really an example of what can happen in local communities around the country, which is to invest in the infrastructure, do the public-private partnership, do the partnership with the federal government, and expand public transit in a way that will be to the benefit of all working people in her city, but everywhere in terms of the model that you are providing. So with that, I would like to introduce the Mayor of Madison. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Thank you. I'm so delighted to have the Vice President here today, here at our Metro Transit facility on Hanson Road, where we are under construction to build a bus barn where our new all-electric bus rapid transit fleet will come to be serviced and maintained. They will be charged up. We'll have a whole set of electric chargers for them, and then they will go out and they will provide really important transportation to folks in our community. One of the main reasons that we are investing in transit and that we are creating, in fact, a bus rapid transit system here in Madison is so that people can get to jobs more efficiently and more effectively all across. The work that's being done here is really important to build our economy here in Madison. This work would not be possible without the support of the President and the Vice President. These investments that have come from the federal government are absolutely critical to getting done. It is coming in, are paying the folks that you see behind us, and then reverberating throughout our economy. I just cannot state how important it is to have a partner in the White House who believes in cities, who, as the Vice President said, believes in investing in cities and the work that we're doing, not just here in Madison, but across the country. The state of Madison, cities across the country, is strong because of the investments that President Biden and Vice President Harris have made in our communities. And we are so grateful for that. I'm really grateful to the folks that are standing behind us and the work that they're doing, because as the Vice President said when we were talking to the apprentices, all of the work that they do in DC and all of the work that I do down in City Hall is great, but it's not possible without the people who actually do the work to run the conduit and lay the bricks and build the buildings and make the things happen on the ground. And that's what it's all about. And so I'm really delighted to be here. Madam Vice President, thank you again. Secretary, thank you again for being here. Thank you for the investments in Madison and particularly in transit. It's an honor to be here. And thank you all for the work that you're doing. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Vice President, Madam Vice President, what are your thoughts about another rematch? How do you feel about another rematch